What's up, Capoeira Nation? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for every single of you that are listening to this Capoeira podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you are tuning in right now and if you are listening to this episode, please, 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 I know you're watching or I know you're listening. Okay, I know you're following me on Instagram. So please give me a subscribe on YouTube. I'm trying to get to the 100 subscribers. I know it's a tiny bit, but slowly we can grow together, and slowly I can grow even bigger. The more I grow, that means more information for you. So soon, very very soon, I don't know when, I'm going to start giving away some capoeira gear. Could be a capoeira hat, could be a capoeira shirt, could be a capoeira something. Okay, so please, capoeira sticker. If you like stickers, please give me a subscribe. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Listen to this episode. It's going to be fun. It's always fun with the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much. Let's roll. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for being there, being positive, training, and keep doing hard capoeira because it's a hard times for everybody around the world. And today I have a special guest from all the way from Michigan, Contramestre. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you? How are
Pretty
you?
good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, always capoeiristas. I love our community. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. And how have you been doing there in Michigan? How is everything there around Michigan?
It's to be honest, it's pretty tricky here right now in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's not such an easy situation. Since March, we had to close our studio, which we just opened 2 years ago. We opened our brand new studio. So since mid-March, our studio is closed. So things are a bit tricky. It's unreally clear. I talked to a good friend of mine, Mr. Lobiu, and he just informed me yesterday, actually, that the schools in Ann Arbor, which is the city that he lives in, are not going to be opening in the fall. So that's just a response that you think everybody else is going to start to keep closing.
Yeah.
So things are pretty tricky. It's going to be pretty challenging.
Yeah.
So they're not the best right now, but we're trying to find ways to keep morale up high and keep training if it's training online and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you offering online classes right now?
Yeah. Immediately once the studio closed, we moved all the classes to an online structure. Besides, of course, our acrobatics class.
Yeah, of
course. Because, but yeah, we offer basically Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday classes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Trying to maintain the training of the students and also trying to maintain the financial aspect of the studio, to be able to keep it.
Yeah.
Which is tricky.
Yeah, for sure. I saw also that you lost about like 70% of your student base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's really tough, man.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Our studio had the main activity in the studio was capoeira, and then we also had a small Brazilian jiu-jitsu group that was training there.
Okay.
And we had a fitness class, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu group is almost completely, everybody almost dropped out. And then so altogether, it's about 70% of the student base in our studio dropped out. A lot of them due to losing their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
That's the majority. People lost their jobs. And then there were some people, not a lot, but there were some people just didn't really feel comfortable or didn't really want to do the online concept. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I don't blame them. It's a,
because you need physical contact.
Yeah, in Jiu-Jitsu, yeah. But in capoeira, it's like some people tried and it wasn't for them, and you can't blame that. Online Zoom classes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not for everybody. There goes your cat.
Yeah. In the back is meow right there. But and how are you keeping the student base the most consistent for them to be more engaging on the Zoom classes? You offering them something special? It's just for people that are listening right now that offer capoeira classes and see how they can keep their students interested in classes and coming back to Zoom classes.
Yeah, you know, it's a challenge. It's a
Yeah.
challenge. It's a big challenge. So what I do, I try to work on concepts. So instead of just doing moves and stuff, I try to really give them details, because when somebody's training by themselves alone at home, their training can be very easy,
Yeah.
and it can be like super intense.
Yeah.
You know, one of my instructors that train with us, Instructor Amigo, he wears a heart rate monitor, and he burns like 700-800 calories a session, and he's like all about, you know, burning, losing weight and training and,
Yeah.
you know, fitness. And so, but he pushes himself, man. When I talk, he does not stop moving there. He just keeps training. So it's a cool thing, and I think it's important to explain that, and I do my best to do so, you know, to explain to the students that you can, if you're feeling tired today, you can train easy, you know, just to
Yeah.
move the body and feel good. But if you want to, you can really push yourself and do more. And people that are consistent, you can actually see a really nice improvement in their techniques and their training. But it's hard. It's really hard to maintain the whole, to get people motivated, you know. Even me as a teacher, you know,
Yeah.
turning on the computer and doing a warm up in front of a screen. And I have a pretty big setup here.
Yeah.
You know, I connected to one of my old, actually my dad gave me one of his old TVs. So I have a TV connected to my computer, and then I have a big screen. So and behind me is my living room studio academy.
Yeah.
Um,
You adjust everything so you have enough room.
yeah. So I moved the sofa to the side. I had another sofa here, put it in one of the guest rooms, and yeah. So it's hard. So I try to do stuff like at the end, I give different kind of exercise. I give a lot of room for creativity. Um, that means we'll do some kind of a training, and they have to figure out the ending or be creative and try to bring some kind of new or their own taste to it, which works really good. I'm noticing a lot of people are very into it.
Yeah.
We do what we call our shadow training.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And when I do the shadow training, you know, it's like boxing and what we see. I'm not a boxer, right?
Okay. Okay.
But the idea behind it is to pretend you're playing with a partner. So in the beginning,
Okay.
it's going to be, I'm going to do my capoeira moves one after the other, train, train, train. The next level will be to actually do a move, but have an idea of what your partner will do in reaction to it.
Okay.
And the next level will be have invisible partner that actually counters you.
Okay.
And then the next level, the partner that actually takes you down. It's cool because you see the advanced students actually playing, suddenly they fall. And
Oh, cool.
you can see that they're imagining somebody taking them down and they're doing something. That kind of, I noticed, really made
Okay.
people more motivated. Doing some music at the end. So basically I'll sing, and they play instead of just putting a recording.
Yeah.
So I'll put the mic on, and I'll just grab a pandeo and play. And then if people have requests for songs, stuff like that, talking in the beginning and not just getting right to it helps a lot. You
Yeah.
know, some personal attention. But yeah, it's hard. I talked to a couple of teachers around the state, and they're telling me they're Zoom burned out.
Yeah, man, it's hard, it's tough because my classes are online too. And it's like you said, it's tricky. It can be either or good or can be either bad. If you just have to know how to handle it, because so I used to be only two times per week, and then I went to try to keep them coming back. So I have one day class, another day like Portuguese, history, or whatever, something extra. Watch a movie, watch a documentary, and I keep them interacting. And then another class, and a little break, and then another class, and you
That's
just
a great idea.
offering them a little bit more stuff, so they be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, what is next?
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I saw a couple of people. I saw Mr. Cueca in Russia did that too. He did like a whole, like, he called it a trip to Brazil,
So cool.
where, yeah, I don't know, I wasn't able to attend it, unfortunately, but it was like, from what I understood, because I think one of my students was there. From what I understood, it was like really a presentation or a video, but actually traveled to Brazil and showed a history, and it's kind of a lecture and videos and pictures and capoeira stuff, and it was really cool. that was very creative. And I think the idea, like in the Russian Center for Capoeira, they did a lot under domestic, like a lot of like parties and dance stuff.
That's
And,
so cool. Yeah.
you know, they would like, okay, we're doing a party tonight. So you hook up your system in your house and we're going to DJ for you. Cause they have one of their
That's
instructors
so
is
cool,
DJ.
man.
So yeah, they did, that was really, really creative, and I think that's the main idea is how do we keep people engaged.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the best at that. I didn't do
It's
creative
hard.
stuff
It's
like
hard.
that so
Yes.
much. Yeah, yeah. Personally, this whole thing, the first couple of months, I was fine. I was fine. But personally, it hit me emotionally, physically, mentally pretty hard, pretty hard. And then you don't notice it. It's the crazy
Yeah.
thing about it.
Yeah.
It's like you're always like giving and forgiving, giving, giving. Then one day you come and you feel empty. And you're like, oh my God, what's going
And
on here?
you just in front of a screen. It's just like and I get goosebumps with this. It's just like capoeira is such a like personal thing, person to person, and it's just like people.
Yeah,
It's about people. It's about
about
everybody. It's
everybody. It's
always about
always about
us.
us.
So it's this dynamic that is so unique that Zoom is not a uh,
Yeah.
so exchange that
Mhm.
is tough.
Yeah. There's no feedback.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the hard thing because especially you have to mute everybody because or else it has kind of glitches.
yeah.
So you say something, it's like, okay, give me a thumbs up if you get it, and you get,
Oh my
and you're
god.
like, it's not the feedback. I took a class with Mestre Dan, and he had some really funny jokes. That made me feel like, okay, this is actually it's entertaining. You know, you go, okay, we're gonna do this and this and this and this, and he like looks at the screen, it's quiet, and he goes, okay, I'll do it with you guys. Don't have to yell. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, but it's the thought. So these kind of small things that make you go, okay, wow, this is very creative, and
Yeah,
it's tricky.
yeah. To at least have them like throw a little smile there and try to
Yeah,
keep
make a
them.
joke.
Yeah, try to keep them the warmness even through the screen.
Yeah, it's definitely important. It's really important, actually.
Yeah,
Some kind of interaction.
yeah,
I don't know if there's some people that do it with kids. With kids, our kids classes was the hardest thing, especially when
it
it got
is.
nice and warm outside. Kids just wanted to be outside or they wanted
Yeah,
to play video games, and it's like, whew, it's hard to keep the kids there.
it is. It is because I taught a kids class for my mestre because I don't have kids, and I think it was under 10, both of them, and man, it's hard to keep them engaged. It's like, okay, now let's do Malo Frenchy. And then you do the thing, they get distracted, they dog pass by, and then they start running behind the dog. It's like, hey, come back to the camera.
Yeah, yeah. I had parents, kids leave the class, and parents like, "Hey, why? My kid told me your class ended half an hour earlier." I'm like, "No, your kid logged off. We're still
Oh
here."
my
And then, like 2 minutes later, you see the kid logging back in, still like this.
God. You gotta go back to class.
They tried, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's why in the summer I decided to stop the classes because I would come to the class and the kids looked like they weren't 100% interested. And I asked them, "What's going on? What do you guys want to do today?" They go, "Well, actually, I want to go continue playing outside with my friends." I'm like, "Okay, go play."
Man.
It's like I don't blame them. It's the
Yeah,
complete
for
different. When
sure.
they come
Yeah.
to the studio, we had like 15, 16 kids in a class.
And their
That's
friends is
their
around.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing with their friends.
That's so
And like you
crazy.
said, it's the interaction of capoeira. So yeah,
Yeah.
super crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I also saw that on your link on your Instagram, you have a link for bringing for the contribution for the capoeira community or everybody to help out a little bit with the donations.
Yeah, yeah. So what we did, unfortunately, because we had such a big drop in our studio, we are getting to a point where financially we're struggling to pay the studio. So I've been teaching here in Michigan since 2007.
Okay.
So it's 13 years. 2.5 years ago, it's kind of a bittersweet. We were in a facility for 10 years and the management changed and we had to leave. And we ended up opening our own studio. And, when you open an own studio, it's a 5,000 square foot facility,
Oh wow.
like two giant rooms. Yeah, we really went like, I was like, okay, it's, when we had the option to or leave the studio or make the changes there or grow,
Yeah.
grow or die. So it's like,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna go for it and give it all. And that's what we did. Luckily, my dad's a general contractor, and me and my father, mainly my father and my sister,
Yeah.
they helped me build the studio. We literally, with our own
So
hands, we
cool.
did all the construction. And we've been struggling since we have 70% loss in our studio. We're not bringing in as much, unfortunately, income
For sure.
as we would like to be able to pay the bills and sustain a livelihood. Now, um, any capoeira teacher is people love capoeira. I want to do capoeira. It's my passion. But then there's a fine line where from a capoeira teacher, it's an entrepreneur. It's entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
You know,
Bro.
in Mestre Dan and Mestre Cueca's instructor course, they talk about the jobs of a capoeira teacher. It's not only to teach capoeira. You're a graphic designer, you're a marketer, you're a manager, you're an accountant, you're
Many
you
hats.
know you're a salesperson, you're a IT guy. You have to learn all these things, and it's entrepreneurship. The spirit of entrepreneurship is there. So unfortunately, due to the COVID, with the whole drop, our business right now cannot generate new students.
For sure.
And we signed a lease. The landlord was kind of helpful for a little bit. Actually, in the beginning, he wasn't. Now he's a little bit helping. But we haven't been in the studio since mid-March, and people just like, you know what? I got people that were texting me like, I don't feel comfortable. I can't keep paying. Actually, I can't keep paying. And it's several people. I can't keep paying if I'm not taking classes, which I don't blame
For
them.
sure. Yeah, of course.
You know,
Of course.
So we're doing a fundraiser, and the idea of the fundraiser, after months of my family and people that are close to me trying to, how do you say, change my mind about it,
Yeah.
because I didn't feel comfortable doing a fundraiser. They said do a fundraiser for the minimum amount that you need to just maintain the studio so you won't lose it. Because we put over $100,000 into the studio,
Wow.
and 3 months of 14-hour days of working on it. So it's a lot of heart and soul in there and a lot of
Yeah, for
money.
sure.
And our goal right now is just to maintain the facility, that once this whole thing is cleared, or I don't know what's going to be the solution, whatever it is, that we can go back and utilize it. If not, then the worst is going to happen. So we did a GoFundMe, which every single penny, and I promise this on my heart, every single penny that's going to be raised is going to go directly and only to maintain the studio.
For sure.
We're going to be reaching out to the landlord next week, and see if we can close a different rate, because at the beginning they didn't want to give us any kind of discount,
Okay.
and we didn't get approved for any of the assistance.
Yeah, for the loans
So
and all the stuff.
yeah, so it's like, because it's not that we didn't get approved. So let me clarify that. I apologize.
No worries. No worries.
When everything started, when we came to apply for it, it was already gone. And
Yeah.
then it was only agriculture. And now when we apply for it, it's a 30-year loan with a 3.75% interest. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if our business, the Michigan Center for Capoeira, right now takes upon itself an additional $30,000 or whatever it is, $40,000, $100,000, I don't remember what the amount that we got approved for. We're taking another loan right now, and we're still paying off the debt that we have. I'm like, it's not. I'm putting the studio into a really bad situation because we don't know
Yeah, on
what's
the
going to
long
happen.
time.
Exactly. So that's kind of on hold right now, because we're still we're still struggling to pay off the debt that we still have from opening it.
For sure.
And all the grants we're taking. So we try to apply for the grants from the government, from Michigan, and from the what the White House offered. We didn't see anything for grants. Everything with us take more loans, and then after you take the loan, like there's a forgivable loan, the PPP, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to apply for it, and only 40% can go to utilities and 60% can go to paychecks. But we don't have anybody teaching right now. It's just me. So I can't give myself a paycheck. So it might not be like, oh my God, this is getting so complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
So it
takes time to go to the process for them to check, but still you got to pay
you
rent
pay the
for that.
interest. Yeah. So all these things, you go and you say, hold on a second, I need to take a step back. And that's where some close friends and my family were like, maybe just do a GoFundMe. You have a very strong community around you, and people believe it. You won't take the money. They know what you're.
For
So
sure.
it took me a while, and I wrote down the whole story in the GoFundMe. What happened, what the goal of our studio is, what we've done. We've done a lot for in Michigan over the past years. If it's sharing capoeira with universities,
I saw that
camp.
you've been teaching classes on universities for many universities too, right?
I used to, yeah. When I moved here, I was really into it. I used to teach. I taught at Oakland University, Michigan State, all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we really did a lot. It was mainly workshops and seminars. Um, and my idea was just to share capoeira as much as I can with as many people as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
And it worked. It was a fun experience. It really built a good community around it. And now the wheel changed. Now the center needs the help of the community. So we did a GoFundMe, and it was surprising. In 48 hours, we raised half of what we need.
Yeah, for sure.
And if we get to this amount that we're trying to raise $20,000. If we get to that amount of money, then hopefully we can kind of secure our studio for the next year.
That's
So that
awesome.
way, yeah, and that way it won't really affect things, because man, it was hard when we started. I pulled the home equity line of credit on my house.
Yeah. Oh,
I took a
yeah.
loan from my own house just to be able to have some cash, and it's like, how much can I keep doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tricky. So there are a lot of people that believe in the work that we did. There are parents. Some people donated parents that their kids trained with me 8 years ago, and they're like, "Oh,
Oh,
Bob, we're so sorry to hear this. We remember, like, you can read in the comments. We remember the good experience we had with our kids. We hope this helps, and good luck. If you need anything else, let us know." I had some, excuse me. I had a friend that's also a lawyer that I worked with. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, if you need some legal advice, I'd be happy to help the studio for free." And
whoa,
some
that's
people were
awesome, man.
sending links and giving some information. And I had some people call me and tell me about the government loans and everything. And they all agreed. Like, if you already have a big loan that you're still paying off the studio, you have to really think twice if you want to take another one.
Yeah.
You know. So it's a tricky situation. So yeah, if people can go on our Instagram, if people want to, of course, if they're able to help in any way, donations are great. But even something that's spreading the word,
Yeah, for sure.
sometimes just bringing awareness to what's going on. Um, I think it's important. It can make a change if more people are aware of it. Um, our goal when I started teaching capoeira, my goal was to change the world. My dad reminds me that. Every time I have a bad day, and we all have bad days, even like capoeira teachers that seem like all energetic and they come to class.
When they
We're
close the
humans.
door, he's like, man.
We're humans. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
humans, and we feed off of energy. I always said this, and I still say it. I prefer full class of 100 people with nobody paying me, than an empty class, or
Oh, man. I'm on the
people
same
that
page.
people that pay that don't come. It's like, I prefer to have that energy, people that want to support, because we're doing something here.
For sure.
And now with the whole COVID or coronavirus, or whichever way you want to call it, this is the time that we need to come together. And it's hard for people. People are scared. People are going through cabin fever. You know,
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So the goal was to change the world through capoeira, to give a community that helps people feel comfortable, trains them, maybe provides some knowledge about the human body and health, better lifestyles. Man, capoeira saved my life when I was a kid. I was bullied in school. My family situation was not the best, and when I came to capoeira, that was the first place that nobody cared that my clothes were from the flea market,
That you,
because
you
my
can be
mom,
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't care that my family lived in a rental house, that we had a bad car. They didn't care about all the stuff that I was bullied at school for. And they were like, "Hey, you want to come train? Come train." And then, like, dude, I would take a 2.5 hour or 2 hour bus ride to
That's
go
so
train
cool.
capoeira.
Yeah.
And sometimes we would miss the bus. We would run from the bus station to the studio. we would jog it. That'd take about 40 minutes. And I had a friend, he's now Mestre Vivo. Sometimes we would run and race each other who can run it faster. We used to take the bus, man. And it's, yeah, it's like, so you have all these things and it's like, okay, Capoeira helped me so much, gave me a community that accepted me, um, gave me a job. Um, a lot of where I am today is thanks for Capoeira, you
Same.
know. Um, and my goal was to give it back, to give back of it, and I've done it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Just now, it's a point where it's like not a lot of it is in my control anymore.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, now it's like, okay, what do we do? It's like I even tried to do. I was thinking about doing a class outside. Everybody come with masks and everything, but then it's not really clear here in Michigan if we do a physical activity outside, keeping 6 feet apart, if we have to wear masks or not. Some
Yeah.
people say yes, some people say no. You know, and it's like
It's tricky. Yeah.
it's tricky and it's something I don't want to risk. You know,
Yeah.
I
For
don't
sure.
want. Look, it's crazy. Um, sorry, I'm gonna skip my
Don't
mic.
worry.
If you
Don't
want,
worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
go ahead. Um, the the week before we closed our studio 4 days before we had a closure here.
Okay.
That week, the day I closed, the day before that, the day I closed, I got a phone call that one of the kids, his direct teacher, the kid was at our studio on Wednesday. On Thursday, we got a phone call that the direct teacher of two students, was diagnosed with COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that teacher passed away.
Whoa, that's sad.
Crazy. Yeah. The Monday after, right? We were already closed. That Monday after, I realized a few weeks after that another one of my students, an adult student, got sick and was tested positive for COVID. That student usually comes and trains on Mondays. So if we wouldn't have closed and that student would have came to the studio,
Who knows what would happen? Yeah.
yeah, crazy, right? And I have people that train with me that are over 40. I have people that train with me that are 60 years old. So then it was like, for me, like, okay, so now I felt, okay, I did the right thing to close a few days before because of the whole thing. And now it's like, do I do a class outside? Training with a mask is hard, man. It's not easy.
Man, it's just walking around with a mask. I go upstairs with a mask on and I get tired. It gets you tired faster.
Yeah.
It's just no. I mean, it's not meant to work. You know, it's just meant to be standing. You know, like doctors, they just stand there doing their stuff and they take it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not made to do physical activities.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. And
I haven't tried buying those masks online that have the vents for activities. Still very hard to breathe.
man, yeah, because I think those are the like high is like
High
mount
altitude.
high altitude. Yes, that one.
Yeah. The one that I got just has like 2 openings, so you can exhale more air.
Okay.
You know, so you won't breathe your CO2
Yeah.
or your carbon dioxide, whatever it is. But yeah, it's tricky what's going on today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you
my
know,
goal
like
is to be positive to the world and not try to or create an environment that, God forbid, somebody will.
for sure, yeah. And you know, I'm on the same page with you. The capoeira also changed my life. You know, and I want to bring. I'm originally from Venezuela, and we have that warmth, you know, and capoeira. Everybody, and when I came to the US, you see the same thing. So capoeira brings people together, and you see people shaking hands and hugging and having fun and jumping for capoeira music. And I've seen of like, man, this is so cool. I want people to see this. You know, I see kids, and I used to work in a restaurant where like I've seen family just like on their phone. Everybody's just on their phone. It's like, man, come on, interact. You know, like be more social. And then I was like, you know, like I'm 100% sure capoeira can bring this to people and show this to people on how to interact, how to appreciate the person in front of you.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. You know, I completely agree with that. I'm originally from Israel,
Nice.
and I started training over there with Domestic Quick, and the same thing, man. The atmosphere, the hugging, the a warm environment. And that's, I think, one of the reasons I stayed in Michigan. I believed in Michigan because Michigan, the winter here is tough. And the winter here is tough. For a
Yeah.
person that grew up on the beach, the winter here is tough.
I would say
Uh,
Indiana is tough too. I mean, it's not
yeah,
as tough as Michigan, but it's hard.
yeah. Venezuela, man. I've never been there. That's one of my places to go to one day. But that was one of my goals. I saw how much capoeira can contribute, and I believe that people need it for kids. You know, when I would promote it for school programs and working after school enrichment programs, the first thing I would tell is like, we're teaching social skills.
Absolutely.
We're teaching the kids how to interact as a group, how to train together, how to be friendly, how to talk, how to play, through an art form. Besides the other physicality and all the amazing other benefits, the biggest thing that would get me into the schools was we're teaching kids how to socialize.
It's
You
our
know,
kids are awkward.
yeah, and yeah, and same thing with adults, man. You know, you
Yeah.
do like a party or something, a get together, and the beginning when people don't know, like they're kind of like all quiet, but you come to capoeira, okay, they start talking. Somebody pulls the berimbau, pandero comes out, start chit chatting, and then once you do a small music thing or a small mini hoda at a party, then everybody's like, nobody's on their phone after that. The
Man,
phones are gone.
you see they're like moving. You see they're like
Yeah,
moving a little bit. You're like, I know what you're doing.
yeah. So it can definitely make a big change. Definitely. I think a lot of the social aspect of capoeira is very, very important, especially these days. There's a lot of things that are amazing and important in capoeira. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, but I think in today's time, in today's life, it's really important to have that social interaction that capoeira provides so naturally. You know, doing a roda, you're standing and you're clapping, you're making music and energy, which only two people are going to be receiving right now, 100%. You're
Yes,
enjoying it, of course. You're enjoying being part of the roda. But when you're standing and playing music in the roda, it feels good, but you're doing something so somebody else can have pure joy right now.
absolutely, absolutely. You're passing
So
on that energy.
it's like you're doing some selfish, selfish. How do you say it?
Selfless, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
revolve
so.
another word.
We
You know, you're doing
no asking
something
for
not for
anything back.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing something you're literally doing everything right now so somebody can have a good time.
for sure.
Um, you know, and yeah, there is some joy in playing music. There's a lot. Some people just come to Hoda and just play music, you know. But you're doing it's creating something amazing.
For sure.
I can't imagine how it would be to go into a Hoda right now. You know,
Man, I don't know. It can be two things. Or people are gonna be awkward, or people are gonna be really excited to have so many people.
yeah, it's all a matter if you feel comfortable. It's all a matter I'm talking about, let's say the virus is gone, we passed it, we got a vaccine, or it just
Oh man,
disappears suddenly. I
oh,
don't
this is
know
gonna be so
whichever
crazy.
whichever one of the theories you want to take, it's going to disappear. It's not real, or it's you're going to have a vaccine. But once people feel comfortable to go into a Hoda again, then it's going to be like, okay, wow.
Man, everybody's gonna be doing backflips with all the energy is gonna be there.
I hope they know how to land.
I hope so too. At least in the
Yeah.
grass, it's not hurt as much.
Yeah.
This is also a call for the capoeira community. I think there's as a instructor. When you start a class, it's a hard thing. To bring people to have people that they don't know about capoeira to bring it to class. And then keep them interested in having them coming back and coming back and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this right now and you can donate a little bit, because it's not easy to hold that and have all that pressure, not just students base, also financially, and that you have emotionally. It's a lot of pressure to hold that, but you still giving, which is the best part of this, is that you still giving, you still teaching, and you still giving that capoeira, the knowledge that you have, the energy that you have, because another average person will be like, I'm gonna give it up. I gotta take care of this stuff. I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But us as a teacher, if you're a teacher right now and you're listening, or as a student, and you teacher, you have a teacher there in front of you, putting a lot of sweat, putting a lot of time on teaching and helping you grow, or you as instructor helping the other person grow, and all you investing all this time, and small contribution can help somebody else, and at some point life is a boomerang. So you probably at some point down the line you are gonna need help, and we're gonna help each other. Is about us, like I said at the beginning, is about us, about the community. If we say, oh, capoeira is a community, I think this is the time to show we are a community.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, and you
Well
know
said. Yeah.
yes, and to I know you got a class coming soon, and single advice for capoeiristas listening to this right now, to air, just as a general, as a capoeirista.
Um, remember why you started.
Nice,
Nice.
nice. I like
Whenever
it.
you, the good quote that I like a lot. I'm a big fan of quotes, and a good quote that I like a lot is, whenever you feel you want to quit, remind yourself why you started.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for my father to remind me that a lot. Lately, I've been working with him, helping him kind of do some remodeling, and so I sit with him a lot. And he keeps reminding me that, remember why you started. Whenever it kind of like, it's not working, man. I think we're gonna lose the studio. Now I'm gonna go in and it's all this like, negative thoughts. He looks at me and goes,
Yeah.
if you feel like quitting, just think why you started. And I go, man, he's right. He's right. So yeah, that will be my advice. Remember where you started. Whenever you feel like, man, I don't like this. I don't like this Zoom. Um, I don't like whatever's going on. Just think about why you started. Why you started. There's It's easy. It's easy to step away from things. And I think to think about why you started something is really important. And also, how does it go? There's another good quote I wanted to share with you. Give me a second. So I read this a couple days ago. It says, not every day is going to be good, but you can find good in every day.
Absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely. 100%.
So I think especially now, it's like, okay, this is not the capoeira class that you're signing up with your teacher. That's not what you came for. And you have two options. You have the option, do your own thing, which is absolutely fine, especially if you're financially struggling.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Completely
Completely fine, to stop the payments. And but if you're able to, try to find something enjoyable in it. I tell this to a lot of my students in the class, like, guys, I'm doing one option. Let's say I'm just doing like some kind of AU variation. I'm like, if you're more advanced, feel free to upgrade it, do something
Yeah, for
more.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You can, because we're not doing a sequence to the partner. It's not really, let's work on it. And if you are like, if anybody is listening to this and you do have some kind of financial issues, I'm sure if you talk to your teacher and tell them like you're having financial struggles, but you still want to train, like a single person that told me that they got laid off and they can't train because for load or lost their income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I froze their account and said, you guys can still keep, I froze their payments, but their account stays active. You guys can still train. Because for me, it's like, I know the importance of it.
Yeah.
I know
for
the
sure.
importance of somebody to keep training. Yeah, it's, we got to be understanding with each other. And it's like somebody got laid off. It's like, oh, if you can't pay me, you're not going to train. But what are you teaching here?
Yeah.
That's not the purpose, So I think those would be the three things: communicate good, remember why you started. If you feel like quitting, remember why you started, and try to find something good in each day.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree.
I like it. I like it.
That would be my
And
three things.
yes. All right, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go because I know you have a class pretty soon. So
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
you can get ready for that class. And
I
thank you so
appreciate
much
it.
for your time. Thank you so much for to keep contributing for the capoeira community. I think that's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kashishi. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you a little bit. And thank you for also bringing up the GoFundMe and everything. And the link is on our social media.
How people can find you?
If they go to Instagram, that's the place where we put it. Instagram under the username is capoeira_Michigan. That's where they can find us. Or under my Instagram, which is my personal one, it's Bas Kelly, my full name with no spaces, nothing.
Okay.
Either or, there's a link there. And I'm sure if they go into GoFundMe and write Capoeira Michigan, it'll come up because as we put the Capoeira Michigan in the title. So if they just search that and GoFundMe.
Okay.
Yeah, if they can donate, that'll be wonderful. If they can share it, who knows? Maybe somebody like Ellen will see it and we'll and then Hulk up all the capoeira around the world will be,
you never know. Yeah.
Boosted up. You can never know, man. You can never know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Ellen, Latif Browder, The Rock, Conor McGregor. I don't know. All the people that talk about capoeira.
Yeah. All those people, all those fighters, and all those people that they know about capoeira.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin, anyway, he knows he did capoeira before.
Ricky Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard Ricky. Yeah, I heard. Definitely heard. And Mark DeCosco, right? The guy that played Only the Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, so who knows? Yeah, if anybody can share it, that'll be great. We greatly appreciate it, and it will definitely help the community.
For sure.
And
I'll have the link of the GoFundMe on the Instagram. It doesn't click. It doesn't have the link. But once it goes to Facebook, the link is available there on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, you can also find the link here on the podcast video. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Okay. Have a good class.
Thank you too. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for getting this far. Remember, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is going to help us and help me to get bigger numbers and bigger subscribers so we can give more information. Okay. Please, if you're listening, I know you're listening, I know you're watching, please give me a subscribe, give me a like, okay? I know you're watching right here or listening. All right. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening every single episode, especially the episode we just did. All right. Thank you so much. Peace.